There we go. 3 hours, 14 minutes.
Yep.
This data. Looking at the... Oh, there we go. Looking at the bright dark blue screen there reminds me that we can actually go to our menu, go to custom settings, we can adjust this stuff. So how about we have a... Let's have like kind of a dark red menu, I think. Let's see, I think that's how we want it, right? And that would be no red. I want to do more like that.
Yeah, less red.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, I like that. There we go. Everything stand out pretty well. It can do just about everything in these settings there. I'm not gonna. Whoa, I have a rank shuffled from the Mylon fight. Well, this should at least clear out most of the nonsense. I could also show off Hella too on any survivors. I'll take out. Using that. It's so good seeing seeing small numbers pop out of our heroes here. Yeah, Revenants were just messing us up on our trip up.
And now Cecil can actually take them down. So.
Right. The one cool thing is that Cecil's holy swords, where I said in a Final Fantasy game, had a blue background. Brain is confuzzled. But yeah, all of
you'll want to keep skipping through that. Cecil gains a lot of levels.
Yeah,
he starts at level 1.
Exactly. But all of Cecil's.
Change your party.
All right. How about one fire do it? One fire might do it.
Should do it.
But the Cecil's holy swords all have 99% accuracy. Means he basically never misses with them. Huh. Oh, that was an effort of them casting something as somebody who negated it completely. So they fired that as somebody who has high enough magic resistance to evade it, or has magic evasiveness. Yeah, there is a. This will be something worth pulling up the status screen for later. But basically, everybody has they have a chance of negating attacks, which is a lot lower than the chance.
Change
of...
your party.
Yes.
there you go.
It's been a long day, folks.
Easily distracted.
Yeah, but yeah, so going off game talk for a little bit, we're going to be doing Wicked Fate Ultimatum on our PS3, but we are currently looking over there on the side and seeing that, let's see, it's got enough MP that, yeah, we'll have a white chocobo waiting for us when we get done. Yeah, we're looking over there at our PS3, and it has been a process that was supposed to take about an hour, has been 2.5 hours and counting, and saying approximately another 30 minutes, which it's been saying about that much since for quite some time. So yeah, unfortunately, PS3 is not an option today, so we'll be doing that next time.
Right. But to paraphrase, into every life some technical difficulties must fall. That's why we've got Isaac constantly exploding.
Right. Yeah, it's like, I've been thinking of other things to use for a technical difficulty screen, but that one's so perfect. Yeah. There might be some good ones to use in... Well, if we do play Deus Ex, there'll be some good ones for that. Yeah, I will be doing a poll on what games to use for me to play next. We're taking a break from Dark Souls.
You and them polls.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's worth it though. Gotta give the fans some input on what they want to see. Good. Nice, 500 damage. Likewise with that might be enough to kill 2 basic skeletons. Yes. Okay. Always be striving for efficiency. Yeah, Cecil's damage is already picking up pretty well.
Right. And he already does more per swap than the average spell.
Right. That's one of the interesting things too. Is that obviously if Palom busts out a Fire 2 or a Fyra, then he's going to be doing more damage than Cecil, but it's close. And it's one of the
Cecil doesn't have MP to worry about.
Exactly, right. And games had to be very divergent on that. Like I remember Final Fantasy III, at least in the DS version, that basically had it set up so that magic was completely inferior to physically attacking. And you'd be easily hitting your 999 level, while magic was still like 3,000 or 4,000.
Right.
Nice. Yeah, I believe spells get multiple hits too, the same way that attacks can.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, they tend to be a lot more consistent in damage. You end up with some characters, like when we get Sid, he's pretty random on how much damage he does. A lot of games I like having the random factors, like the Masher and Mario RPG and everything. They just tend to not be balanced around that. They tend to not be very effective.
Yeah, basically the problem that they have is what we've seen a little bit in one of the other streams for Darkest Dungeon, where the fact that you have a non-zero chance of being absolutely worse than everyone else means that, the chances of that happening have to be weighed in.
Right.
And generally, the upper limit is not as far up as the lower limit is down.
Right.
So the average actually is that you'll be worse.
Exactly right.
So yeah, if games are going to use random things, they need to make sure that at least the average makes you break even.
Right.
And I would actually argue, due to certain heuristics, that you want to make sure that you're actually coming out a little bit ahead with your random things, because everybody will remember when they needed, the clench heal or the clench critical or just average damage, and they bombed it and died.
Right.
So yeah, you have to make it actually worthwhile.
Yeah, exactly. And now we're back. We can finally afford Cecil's Paladin armor. So never get tired of Chocobo music. It's good stuff. What was the first game that had Chocobos in it?
I want to say that this was it.
Yeah.
Because they weren't in the first game.
And they weren't in 1, and I don't know if they were in 2. I don't think so, though. I barely remember 2. But we'll be able to get our Fire Rod in the next town. Let's see, she has how many white arrows left? Most of them, so that'll be fine. Okay. And we won't be able to buy more Cure 2 potions for quite a while after this, so I'm going to go stock up while we're here. Let's see.
Make sure to grab some lives if you don't have them.
Oh yeah, we're going to get a couple more. And
I think this is the first time you can buy cabins too.
Yeah, I think so. A couple of those. I don't think we'll be needing them very often, but so 30 Cure 2 should be good. Yeah, looks all fine to me. Chocobos did first appear in Final Fantasy II and almost all subsequent Final Fantasy games. Thank you, Lorax.
Yeah, I figured that was the case.
Excuse me. Nothing new there. I wonder if the White Maid still freaks out. Okay. A little shocked. Easily excitable person, I'm guessing. Sundari Black Mages all over the place. Alright. But now it's dazzling. You have the light of the moon. Wait a minute. Has Cecil got empowered by the moon?
Moon, Cecil, moon. Okay.
We're going to send our little kids on a tactical espionage mission into a monster-infested mountain.
Yeah, I like the idea of, we want to make sure that if the Dark Knight is actually here to kill everybody, that he gets the 2 kids first.
Right. And we got this one again. I'll be quiet and let the prelude play, I think. Yeah, that one gets retranslated just about every time there's a new Final Fantasy IV game, which has been, I think, roughly 20 times. So it's more like 8. And the original is still one of my favorites. Veiling the moon with the light of eternity is really good. The sacred light. Good thing we're not playing Final Fantasy III. We have to balance our light and darkness. Get ready to call Bez right now. But he can't cast it. The funny thing is that I don't think Palom can get it, but it is possible to level, I think, Rydia up high enough that she can cast. Or is it the way around? Like Rydia can't, but Palom can eventually get Rydia.
I believe Rydia can.
I know she can when you get her later.
Yeah, I actually like how this kind of draws a difference between what they're trying to emphasize with Cecil, the whole idea of light and whatnot, and Tella's thing where basically, he's willing to say, if it kills me, I'll get Galbez.
Right.
Like, this is not a man of light going on here.
I love the hesitation there. It's like, well, we weren't expecting them to actually come back alive.
Right.
So. And yeah, this, needless to say, the next part of the game would suck if we didn't have 2 pretty good mages to take with us.
Right.
Because we're about to not have 2 mages after that, and it's pretty bad. It is funny how and we'll talk about this more when we get to it, but how a lot of the difficulty in a lot of these games hinges on the options that you have or that are taken away from you. That's why, like, the first part of a lot of action RPGs tend to be the hardest. Not only are you learning the ropes, but you don't really have other things to try. You have to play the game on its terms that may not be what you're comfortable with. Serpent Road is over here. Kind of like in all the Dark Souls 3 chatter, this is the most recent one. You basically compare every other boss to the very first one.
Right.
Because you can't level up, you can't do anything except, fight them head to head and see if you can make it. Hey, Keen.
Hey, Keen.
Yeah, I know you might be here for the anime, but unfortunately we have PS3 problems, so we're doing this instead. The After Years turned Serpent Road into an actual dungeon. Not just any dungeon, but a teleporter dungeon. I don't hate it as much as some people do, but it's still not the most fun. Oh, so Sid's been arrested. It's never like this before. Okay, we grab the goodies the first time. They don't respawn, unfortunately. Oh, here's a fun thing we can do.
Ah, this is Keen's favorite Final Fantasy.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
I miss that Dark Knight. He was all evil and stuff.
Yep, I had to go say hi to her. Yeah, 4 is my favorite Final Fantasy too. 2 is a favorite Final Fantasy 4.
Would you say of the main games or in total?
Oh, it's true. Tactics would probably be, yeah. And a game of Final Fantasy on the front.
Right.
Anyway, Yang is going to be there. I'm going to have to fight him first, so I'm going to go save again. Oh, well, that's pretty cool. It actually keeps track of the background you chose to save file you're on.
Right.
9 was Lorax's first, and still the favorite. 9's really good, too. Yeah, I really like the Final Fantasy games set in the kind of fantasy setting. The more modern ones, like I kind of like 7 and 8, but not as much as 4 and 9 and stuff like that.
Right.
Who are you? Okay. Welp.
It's me. I became a paladin.
Kill him. The guards counterattack a lot. We're going to see what they do.
What? People counterattack?
Okay, with many that failed, so we know that it hit something. I believe these are guys you can Piggy and Toad and stuff like that. Let's give that a try. Piggy has a fairly long cast time, as I recall. I think Mute works on them too to keep them from countering with magic. Yep, there we go. Nice try.
They're really throwing those piggies down.
Mm-hmm. If I remember they're fragile, I wouldn't have bothered with the piggy, but...
Well, it would be nice to have that actually work.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
And unlike toads, which can still cast Toad, pigs cannot cast Piggy. All they can do is physically attack. Yeah, making sure to keep fellows. I want to keep everybody's HP up for the second fight. So if I get another turn, yeah, let's have her cure.
You could have had Tella use his stand.
That's true. Yeah, should have. Ooh, nice. Yeah, the twins gain magic power so quickly that they're pretty good at it. I know that.
Karate.
Fortunately, Mr. Karate here. Oh, there's an Art of Fighting reference for you. Cannot use. Does not counterattack. Actually, the one person you think might.
Well, he doesn't get it in your party. So.
I don't have bio yet. That's normally what I fall back on. It's a zapping.
He's got bio.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Doesn't
yeah, it can be a long fight, so it's a good one to.
He doesn't.
It's
virus.
Yeah. Venom is poison. Virus is bio. Probably have him cover one of the twins too. Porum doesn't do much if nobody's been hurt, so. Yeah, well, if the enemy's not vulnerable to Holy, Cecil's not going to be bringing much damage to them.
Right.
Let's see. I don't think he's weak to anything, so. And then we'll hit him with the good stuff. One thing I like about these games is how over the top some of their spell animations can be.
Right.
There we go. That should do it. Yep.
When in doubt, just throw a bunch of icicles on him.
I like it when you finish off Yang with one of Tella's high-end spells because it really makes the follow-up scene kind of be fitting. Well, you're amnesiac.
By the Baron.
By the Darn that Baron. Well, Rydia probably got Et. Oh, as a matter of fact, he actually confirms that, yeah. Sad Cecil.
Yay!
We go, we're finally back to another full party.
Yeah, I agree with Keen. Really love the simple directness of SNES era Final Fantasies.
Yeah, it's like we were talking last time.
Excuse me, girl.
About the Meet the Guards. That's great. That about the simple translation works better sometimes, like especially for the younger characters.
Yep, I do love Palom just nodding off.
Palom's great. I think Yang has a better intro there. Please don't mind him. And definitely you can definitely understand them guilt tripping him over that. Although I don't think he actually got a hit on either one of the twins. Kind of.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, kind of smacked him down with slow first, and then just owned him with magic. Yeah. And that will unlock the doors here, both to the weapon and armor shop, and also to the next spot we have to go. I'll show what happens if we try to walk into the castle, because the next step will be to sneak inside. Cecil's got to get back and see what they've done to his room, in this madness. What are you? You never seen a paladin before? You never seen an Amano character before?
Well, in the place with the Dark Knights, it's entirely possible that no, they've never seen a paladin before.
Right. Oops! I actually didn't mean to do it that time. A carrot-shaped key, maybe. But yeah, this one has some good stuff. We're definitely going to want to get you want to have an ice and a thunder claw for Yang, and if I'd been remembering right, I would have gotten 2 of each, and that way you can maximize your damage against enemies vulnerable to certain ones. So we want does he have either one at the moment? We have 1 ice claw. We have 1. Okay, I did get 1 of each. Okay,
right.
Let's buy 1 more then. We'll not be needing another fire claw. It's pretty cheap to outfit Yang with them, and you really want to do it.
Right.
And then we're going to want to get...
Well, everybody can do the karate thing.
Yeah. Alright, everybody, dojo time. Let's see, what does Yang come with? I should have checked that first. Nothing. Man, Baron kind of skimped on outfitting their dudes. Okay, so we're going to want to sell this stuff, sell the extra stuff first. We're not going to be needing these anymore. Sell quantity 10. We won't have to do this multiple times. Let's see, caps we won't need anymore. We will want to save the ruby rings. Leathers we're done with.
Probably not the staves, I wouldn't think.
Which ones? These?
The 2 staves.
Oh, yeah. I want to save one of them so that we can... Actually, it only cures poison, so yeah. Let's see, Thunder, Cloth, 1 Gaia robe, we can put that on.
Are you going to keep the leather helmet?
No, you're right. The claws, rods, and... I don't think we'll need that after all. Well, actually, I don't think... I'll make sure if we need one or not. But that only really gave us enough to get karate outfit, and we'll get Yang a headband.
And you can just give him the ruby ring.
Yeah. Actually, Yang's going to need the absolute best defense we can give him because he's so fragile.
So in that case, you'll just give somebody else that, because I know you've got more than one floating around.
Right. Anyway, what we're going to do... Karate outfit. Yeah. So let's see, she's got silver. She's got... That's right, the twins I decked out and all that good stuff. And that means we'll try Tella. Okay, so he needs a new hat and a new ring. Well, okay, I wonder if we come back we can get some more stuff. Actually, we'll be able to take the twin stuff, unfortunately, soon enough. So we'll do that one. Let's make sure one's got an ice rod, one's got a thunder rod. And I think that'll do. And then what I'm also going to do here is, to save us some time later, is we'll go to our equipment.
Are you going to get Yang one of those silver rings?
That's true. I could sell enough stuff to afford it.
Well, I'm actually saying that what you could do is give one of the twins something else, because they may not need it, and give it to Yang.
That's true. That'd be a good way of handling it. But we're going to be putting the other elemental claws up top so that Yang can switch to them in no time. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. So it would be ring for him, silver ring for Yang. That's better. You can still see he's got 21 defense and Cecil's got 31. So just like that, he's already in. We're not even close. I think you can go around, or can you not here? I thought you could actually get that stuff.
I don't think you can.
Is it near the... Aha, there we go.
Oh.
No, I had a feeling. Very, very rare. There are treasure chests. Ooh, okay. That was very timely, right? Another Thunderclaw. Whoops. Oh well. So back here, and then we will 2,000. That's enough to get a. Most important one would be to get
one of the silver rings.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think karate is a huge benefit defensively over the Gaia robe. So, whereas the silver rings are a big bonus over the iron and ruby rings. Like so. Alright. I think we're just about ready then. We can also check in on... I've talked about this before. There we go. So say don't go up. And we can check in on Sid's daughter. And see the things are pretty bad. Also, I've seen the grass up there reminds me. I don't think I ever looted that either. Let's go do that real quick. That is from. Oh, you know what? We don't need it.
I wasn't sure if you could loot that or not.
You can go up there, but I'm pretty sure it's just potions and stuff. All right, into the waterway. Even when they have a sewer level, it's still not quite a sewer level. Or I guess I should amend that even when you don't give you explicitly a sewer level, it's still a sewer level. So the problem with this one is that it's a big jump in difficulty, and the enemies tend to have like different resistance types. Like the electrical fish up front, as you might guess from the name, are going to absorb lightning. So he has the ice rod. We'll use that on them. And you want to conserve your MP too. Because, okay, they resisted that too. It's a pretty long dungeon. Let's do a. So look could be enough to kill him one. Yes. Okay. So I think I'll have the twins on lit 1 duty on those guys. Likewise, that means double ice claws on them. And even then, that might not be enough. Yeah. So they resist that too, it looks like. Ice and lightning. I wonder if they resist fire at all. I think they took... Oh, they do have Peep in this game. So then we can check and see how that works. If nothing else, how much HP we have to worry about. I'll say 300? 200. Weak against arrows, okay. I don't think I ever knew that.
The things you learn just by looking.
Yeah. So that means I'll have Porum shoot the Electfish and trigger with that.
The important thing is that Yang can one-shot them.
How much did he do?
244.
Oh, okay. Because the first one he wouldn't have done enough to kill. Alright, whereas these guys are going to be...
There's that alligator again.
Right.
Crocodile.
Okay, so let's see. These guys are going to be weak to... Do one look 2 and take them all out, or why not? And whereas Yang with the ice claws will one-shot the gators.
Remember that he has the lightning rod.
Oh yeah, I should be using that to conserve MP, right? Okay, so with that much damage, I should be able to spread the love and still get some kills in. Oh, or not. Okay, so we're going to stick with the ice claws. We're just going to one shot. I think that's the higher level one. Yeah. You can see how much faster they are too. Okay, he has the ice rod, which means might be enough to take him out with that. There we go. Okay. I guess I should probably be having Porum more on heal duty. Not quite enough there. Maybe I should have the twins team up on the alligators.
I would honestly just have Yang finish them off.
True. I wish he was a little bit faster. Interesting, that was about the same damage, front row or back row. I love this on Cecil. As soon as he gets his next attack in a combo, he'll be a lot more useful. Yeah, I wonder if any of these enemies are flagged for instant death or not. It's like, yeah, yet another area where the black sword would have been good.
But Cecil isn't that person anymore.
Right. Okay. Claws.
Okay.
Probably lower the damage enough. He wouldn't kill any of them. Whereas we know that Porum with the kind of damage he's doing will kill the 2 fish with that.
Honestly, I'm not sure if you would need to throw a lightning spell in this fight.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, probably not necessary.
It's the sort of thing where if you keep saying that you need to conserve MP, you should probably start conserving MP.
It's not. I don't really need to conserve it, that much per se. It's just that I don't want to overuse it. Like I said, of not using Blip 2 on everything. And Cecil will be getting a sword upgrade in here at least. Well, ish. It does more damage, but doesn't have the 99% accuracy, so mileage may vary on that. Was there a reason to cut along there? No. Okay, let's say dead end. Yeah, no reason. I don't think you even can get into the water, but if you could, there's nothing there anyway. Whereas here, let's see. Actually, I want to go down because right cuts across, where down gets you some loot. And the snake enemies, as I recall, always have really low HP. Let's see. hurt. She kind of does.
You're just going to have her on heal duty and not so much on arrows now to give her the cure stand.
You know, that's a really good point. Just have my main thought was I didn't want to have to cycle out her stuff every time.
I'm just saying that it seems like the only thing you might want to use her arrows against really would be the elect fish. I'm not sure if her arrows would actually do that much damage.
Right. I thought the Hydras were weaker than that, but I've got these confused for there's another type of enemy with that same sprite that only has like 100 HP, and I got them mixed up. Hydras aren't that much tougher, but yeah. The main thing with Porum is that as long as I'm using mostly the cure ones, the cures, I'm not going to be too much in risk of her running out. And Psycho Walter really need a lot of MP for her 4. Ooh, this isn't good. I think we're about to find out what we're going to need Porum's MP for. Ooh, jeez. Guess that's his HP. They just had to go all in on Palom there.
Well, not all in.
Yeah, 3 out of 4. All right, Paladin. He does that thing now.
Yeah. Pedro swears he remembers the numbers being a fair bit larger at this point in the game. Keep in mind that Wayne has not only not done any grinding, he has deliberately kind of sped things through, so he is not quite as good as he should be.
Yeah, I could definitely be a lot stronger than what I am. Yeah, Cecil in particular, you really want to farm him some levels in ordeals to really kind of bring him up to par. So Yang can take care of that one on his own. So we will... Because wrong claws. It's a lot worse damage than I was expecting. I can always have Cecil chime in with some healing too if I need to.
Right. So you've got 3 healers, you'll be fine.
Right. Callum's still in danger. Then we'll give Yang a cure 2 after the fight. Ice Claw? Where did my other Ice Claw go? All the way in the bottom, I bet. That should still be fine. So yeah, she heals about 150. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm thinking I'll probably just leave Yang with 1 claw of each at a time, unless I'm fighting an elect fish, because it just seems to be overkill to have double claws, or double ice claws on these guys. And hey, John.
Hey, John.
Better than nothing, just like Minafune. Aw. To be fair, he didn't actually say that, as I recall. I think it was the guy at Comsub he was talking with. But still. So we want to have 1 with our Ice Claw up near the top. There it is. So right now he has 1 of each equipped. We want to have 1 handy. Let's have the Fire Claw handy, too. To get rid of that Ruby Ring. And then clear up some space so if one of them does accidentally get sorted through. But as soon as we're done with Yang in this dungeon, we'll go back to actually sorting the inventory.
Are the white arrows better than the iron arrows?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So to say, if it was just a matter of resistance, obviously nothing in here is going to be weak to holy.
Right. There we go. Check first. So thought is pretty obvious there. Have the people that can attack the back, and everybody else can attack the front. And poor Porum. It's funny, it's like, if things have been reversed, like, Rosa would be killer in this dungeon. Or in the previous one, too. Where the white arrows on a non-primary fighter are probably the most useful they'll ever be in this game.
Right.
And then you've got somebody who doesn't have aim. I guess now that Yang's gotten some levels and strength and everything, I should probably try using kick more often with him. And Berserk on Yang is very good times if you really just want to see some numbers fly out.
Right.
Okay. And here, you can... A lot easier to see with the thing there, but yeah, we can actually cut north, grab this, and go up and around, and skip that other part. Let's try it.
This wouldn't be a good time for it, I don't think, but...
Yeah, that's not too bad. I will have her throw down a Kira on the team, though. Pa's doing some damage. Oh, I meant... Yeah, okay, a little 1 is good enough. Exactly, Keen. Bows always seem to be pretty lackluster in anybody else's hands than Rose's.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, the problem... And we checked this last time when we checked Poron's stats. The accuracy is just so low with them. Okay, so Kick is better, but still not, great.
It's basically like a full-screen mode.
Mm-hmm. Which, considering that's hitting a weakness, means that's, not actually that bad.
Right.
Well, how about that? In I think starting in the DS version, that should be Thunder. I think the enemies or the elemental rods echo scale with your character stats. Makes them a lot more useful.
Right.
Around, and yeah, there's another shortcut here. And yeah, you can see on the top left, that's if we could have just skipped that whole lower part and saved some time, but it's worth it to, as Mence noted, we're behind on our levels of damage a bit. So it doesn't hurt. You don't want to skip more fights than you should. And Baigan can be a pretty tough fight coming up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everybody else has accuracy problems with arrows, and aim gives Rose the whole same 99% that the Cecil does. So yeah, it makes it really useful. Yeah, I really need Wonder Twin Powers in this one. Maybe we should have. That guy should be... Well, no, Ice Rod doesn't work. So we'll use Lit. And then we'll get... where's Cure 1? Oh, you never actually get Cure 1. I don't think he ever gets Cure 1. Oh, there it is, yeah. Yeah, the form isn't going to need the whole bit. Yeah, I wonder if they're actually weak to, if anything. It's clearly not lightning or ice. You have to wonder if Tella ever feels so sad that he's been outclassed so badly by the kids. So Thunder will do one Thunder, one Fire. Okay, that's a lot better. So yeah, I'm guessing... I'm probably just taking Ice out of the rotation to take care of that. Because they're clearly resistant to it. Alright. We've got we have a mid-boss fight coming up here. Oh, not a mid-boss fight, it's just that it adds starts adding the guards to the encounter table. And we remember how to handle them.
Right.
A couple of different ways of handling them. They're vulnerable to most statuses. So, actually, here's a good one for it. And yeah, I think that calls for that. Stop is so good at this game. We'll have Cecil and Tella teaming up, should be able to take care of that. Then Yang can take care of the guard. So anybody can take care of the guard, nobody's been stopped.
Right.
Yeah, these guys can be dirks if you don't realize they're actually vulnerable to statuses like that. And we have... Oh, Ether. Well, Ethers are pretty good.
Might need it with how much magic you throw around.
Yeah, I know we're almost out, so I can afford to sport a little bit. Especially since, Palom still has most of his. And we'll do Ice Claw. Ice Claw and take care of this thing. Tidal Wave. Oh yeah, you can see Palom. So Palom is probably the one with the high magic defense. The stuff keeps missing him. Let's try Fire. Seemed like that worked okay. And likewise, I have a save point coming up, so I can splurge a little bit. That just have him fight to make me do that. Okay, so fire is just okay.
That's alright.
It does mediocre damage.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Cecil should be able to finish him off. Yep.
Ice isn't going to work very well.
Right. Yeah, it's about half what it normally was.
But it was enough, so...
Yeah, I think the Yang's claws are always a bonus. Even if an enemy absorbs an element, he'll still do his regular damage. I think it's how that works.
He's our saver.
But I'm not actually going to rest here, because they're still doing okay on MP, and I have a free rest coming up. Instead, we're going to get this. This one, if I remember, can be a little tricky. So, let's do a mass cure, and then do I need anything more than that? Yeah, trouble. Okay. Oh, it's not a monster in a box. Okay, so we can take a look at Cecil and see he is attacking 2 at 46. If we equip him with the Ancient Sword... Oh, it went down. That's terrible. I think the Ancient Sword inflicts Curse, but that's not enough to make up for those drawbacks. Huh, never mind. I was thinking of something else that did... maybe other versions of the game did that. If they made the Ancient Sword a little better to make up for lower accuracy. Huh. Okay. So again, wait with the mages do their things. And actually, I think what we're going to do is... We won't have a whole lot of other opportunities to use it.
Right.
Right. Wonder Twin Magic. Love it.
It is pretty good times.
A legend is a legend. Right in the name, yeah. The legend returns.
But what kind of legend is it, really?
Yeah, even after you start getting other swords with Cecil, I like sticking with the legend for a while because it's holy element and perfect accuracy. You know, it takes a little while before you find something just completely better than it is. Anyway, you probably already know this if you play the game, but you can absolutely go to Cecil's room and go get a free nap. No tent or cabin required.
And apparently housekeeping doesn't notice that a strange person is sleeping in the exile Dark Knight bed before.
You know, I just noticed looking over there that the PS3 hasn't changed at all. It's still been 86% the whole time. So wouldn't be great if it crashed at the formatting everything procedure.
I'll go fiddle with it and see what happens.
Right. Okay. And I believe we're gonna get pulled into the boss fight with Baigans as soon as we get moving. So let's take a look. Make sure everybody's... I think elements don't matter at all. I'll make sure everybody's got good equipment. You can use magic, so we're going to want the ruby ring instead. That'll do. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. You aren't controlled by Galbaz. No way. You might be thinking, hey, wait a minute. We already have 5 party members. There's no way they're going to have 6. This is before we came up with party swapping. And sure enough... I just mean twins pointing out Baigans' bad hygiene. Cecil, being the worst paladin ever, clearly doesn't have detect evil. Anyway, lots of stuff going on in this fight. First thing you want to do is... There's a couple different ways of handling this one. I believe he uses wall as a counter, so you want to wait until we get Tella, and just nuke the center with the biggest hit the biggest boom we've got, which I believe is going to be HP up. Bio works too, but I don't, as I recall, he doesn't actually have that much HP, so damage tends to be the big one you want. There you go. Maybe he uses wall. Okay. Now at this point we have a couple options. You can have Tella wall one of us and bounce stuff back, but that tends to not be too optimal. We can also let's see.
You can just attack it physically too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what we're doing with the guys. But there's not really a good answer for this one. One thing that you can do is use. I don't think Berserk will work so well on Yang. So we'll slow the arm. Oh, I didn't mean to mass target that one. But yeah, we can use slow, and that'll slow down the rate at which the arms can do stuff. That'll do that.
It took until the DS version for Keen to realize Baigans' hands were snakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you do use the Yang on that one, so we'll have Tella haste Yang then. That didn't do much. Maybe slow lowers your rate of attack too in this one. I don't think it does, but... Anyway, so I believe Comet will be... It's a 50-50 shot. Do we want to have the Flare get reflected or Comet not? I don't think it's worth it. So we're going to have... We'll just have him blow off the other arm and have Baigan regenerate them. Then I think I will have Tella put the wall up, and when it's only on one hand, bounce it off and try to do that. There you go, Stab. Oh, Ghost didn't play the game at all until the DS version. Okay. I like the DS version, but something to be said for the simpler game without having to worry about the augments and all that stuff. Okay. So we're gonna wall.
Probably Cecil.
Yeah, probably Cecil.
If you accidentally nuke somebody, it'll work.
Right. Unfortunately, we can't check and see the state of enemy buffs, so we don't know how long when Baigans' wall comes down. So what we're going to do is, once again, we're going to knock off one hand, then we're going to Cecil. Yeah, we'll just play it safe and those are tier 2s. Yeah, this is a lot easier when you've actually got, some real damage coming out. Sort of having to make do. Okay. So we have a wall and Cecil. Right now we're looking at 50-50 chance. We're going to have Tella either himself, have Paulum blow off the other hand, and then we'll bounce a spell off Cecil we'll hopefully finish Baigan off.
Shouldn't you have Paulum just bounce spells off of Cecil? If it hits the arm, it's gone, but if it doesn't, that's fine. That's
a really good point. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I think it's probably what I did before. I just forgot, with all the distract. Yeah, I remember thinking, what did I do it that way? There we go. I guess the same thing applies here. So we'll do level 2s. Well, actually, Tella probably won't be strong enough to kill one with a level 3. So either way. There we go.
There you go. And then there was just a hand.
If the hand blows itself up if you give enough time. Oh!
Hand down. That is the problem with using the full amp version.
That's great. I think it's the first dirt nap we've had a party member take, is it? No, we've had a couple earlier. Yeah. There we go. Nice.
So how long does the ball last? Boom!
So you be careful, Cecil. Okay, anyway, back to Cecil's room for some shut-eye. And then we have Kunazo to defeat. Which he can be a bit of a pain, and it won't help that our... we lost Rydia. early on, and we tried to because she was toaded, and we tried to use the tent on her, and it removed the toad, but not the KO.
Yeah.